Follow me. I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
And you. And me, because I haven't seen it yet. Okay, it's in here. It arrived in the mail last week. Grab a chair.
Okay.
Here, you take this one. I'll take the weird Nearly chair.
Oh, okay.
Isn't this the weirdest chair ever?
Oh, that looks like a gym equipment.
It's as low as I can go. All right, you ready?
Yes.
This is being sent straight from a certain manufacturer called Ohuhu.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
These are prototypes, so this is not the final produced thing.
Okay.
But we've gotten a lot of questions about updates just over the last long time about the whole colouring book that we've been putting together. We've shown lots of updates, and then it sort of went real quiet. And that tends to be what happens when you produce a cool product, is there's this whole like quiet period where you've done all this work, you sent it all off, and you're working with someone. So you're sort of waiting on them. Here it is. You ready?
Now we can stop being quiet.
Yeah, well, we can show. Well, actually, let me start right up front to say, now that we have the prototype for this, and we're going to be getting the prototype for the markers, the marker box soon.
Oh, okay. That's
I will be able to put together a Kickstarter.
Oh.
So I'm going to put that together now. I'm going to release this video when there's a Kickstarter to follow. So if you're watching this and you've been curious about the colouring book, or you become curious through the course of this video, and we'll share a bit more detail as to what the marker pack is and what else might be coming, go check out the link in the description to the Kickstarter and hit follow me. So go follow the Kickstarter so you're there for the launch.
It'll be worth it, I promise.
How do I open this
Need
excitedly
scissors?
without destroying my only prototype? You bite it.
Let me find you some scissors.
That's wise. That's wiser. That's a wise. I can beat you. I can beat you. Here they are. They're way thicker than I anticipated. Before Australians and Brits at me in the comments, I've used the American spelling of colour because more than 50% of my audience are American, and also more than 50% of the people that purchase my products are American. I'm sorry, them's the breaks, kid. That's so good. Okay, so we have the portrait.
And the landscape.
And they are 50 pages each. And the specifications of these are the best part. There are lots of colouring books out there, right? I have never personally seen colouring books that feel like character and adventure-y focused, but not like the simple Disney, Captain America crap sort of like line work, like just really simple stuff.
Yeah.
These are modelled, reproduced from all of the studio's best illustrations over a decade, including some of my very first grand pieces to very recent ones that we produced even weeks before finishing the contents of the books, as well as insert art and work Alicia's done and tabletop time characters. Like, there's so much in these, and the fact that we have been able to finalise it and narrow it down to 50 per. The other specifications are, this is spiral bound so that you can flip it.
Oh, you don't have to
look at
bend
that.
the pages.
It's so good. Perforated single print pages.
Ooh.
So you don't, not only are they thick, this is like 200 GSM. I'm interrupting myself just to qualify, these are actually 300 GSM. So they're by far the thickest colouring book pages that I've used. This is serious. This is proper, this is professional marker paper.
Yes.
We actually have to, these are prototypes and it feels bad to taint them, but we have to test the paper. So let's test it.
I can't wait.
So we'll do that now in this video, but the specs are single-sided, so you will get some bleed through because you always do, but they're thick enough that there's minimal risk of it getting onto the pages behind. Look, I would still always just get a piece of A4 paper and just pop it behind and work on like that. It's just like a safety net. But the perforated edges means that you get an A4 page when you pull it out, and it removes neatly from the spiral binding. So you can, if you do something you're really proud of, you can put it in your loose leaf folder of
you can frame it.
You can frame it, yeah.
Or on the fridge or something.
This is so good. And there's 50 per colouring book. The idea was we definitely wanted like some simpler ones where even though there are some that are more visually simple, there's still better quality illustration outcomes than some of those cheap like Disney ones that you see out there, where all the lines are sort of like there's no like interesting line weight variation, you know. So the simpler ones, and then like these, which are really approachable for people who are like new to marker coloring. So there's a good few of those, and then they sort of become somewhat more complex, and there are certainly some that are extremely detailed. Like that one's quite detailed. There are some that didn't originally have backgrounds that we put backgrounds in there just to sort of help bring the setting alive and give a good mix of like, so some simple detail ones, some high detail ones with lots and lots of little things to fill in. I think the landscape one is probably the one most likely to have the more detailed pieces. Yeah, exactly. So I think the portrait one is very, very character focused. Even flicking through this, sort of like hero character.
Sort of bust up a lot of portraits, a lot of...
It also is worth mentioning that the covers of these books are pages from the colouring books. And they were literally coloured in with Ohuhu markers by what I commissioned Kat to colour both of these in. So do you want to bring that in?
Yeah.
Just to show that these are achievable results. The covers are achievable results with the pieces that you have in the colouring book, which I think is really freaking cool. Anyway, so that's the portrait. Do you want to give a flick through the...
So I suppose the landscapes are more... a little bit more elaborate. There you go, there's the front cover.
I feel like maybe I should put this one as the front one on this book too.
I don't think that was at the front.
Oh, wasn't it?
I think, this one's... I think they must have come out in alphabetical order.
I think they
But we
did.
can put them on the front.
We should decide what order they go in, but I'm not sure what that should be determined by.
Yeah, I'm not... I reckon just put these at the front.
Maybe, and then the rest is whatever. Is there an order? Do people feel like they should be grouped by like medieval and sci-fi? Or, I don't know.
Or do we want variation?
That's why I felt alphabetical was fine. But anyway, let us know in the comments because we're in the phase where we can make little changes before we launch a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Well, some of them kind of go together, like the Tellteller ones. And
that's true, so which you've named to keep together anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you want to put like the insert art ones together, or I don't think people care that much.
It's a real fun mix. Like you got pieces like this one was produced by Morgan with a collab that we did. It was insert art for a thing we did with ASUS. It was like this vision of the future. Just like such variety. This one was my Shelob, but it's not based on any copyright design. It's just some weird spidery cave thing. But it's from that video where I did Lord of the Rings monsters from the description.
It looks so good with the black.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun that like each piece has... it is! Each piece has like a story that goes with it.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing is because actually like the way we produce art in our videos is always attached to a story. There's a reason for it. And then even if it's just like a challenge, like whether it be like, you know, a themed thing, like this I believe is a Pokemon.
Pokemon as a person,
Which, you know, when you look at it,
you wouldn't recognize it.
You wouldn't assume. But also when you produce it in those videos, you sort of end up creating a story to sort of make sense of it. And so there's this whole journey as to how the character and the artwork was made, but also the world that they sort of come from, which emerged from the videos that we made.
Each character could have their own like little blurb on the back.
Totally.
Just telling their
story.
This
is so fun. Oh yeah, front and center is the Son of the Seraphim.
Yeah.
That's the first ever tabletop role play campaign to come back. Speaking of tabletop, this is from our... Was that Call to Quest?
That was Call to Quest,
That was Call to Quest. So was that.
Asher, his name was.
Yeah. This is so much fun. Okay.
Finally.
Right. So...
This has been such a long project.
It really has. And this, look, round of applause for Alicia in the comments, not only for contributing some of her art to this, but for converting so many of my illustrations and artworks over recent and past years into one format that all works together so well. So fantastic work. You've done an amazing job. Kat, amazing job on the cover. This whole collaboration is just so exciting. So let me tell you a few more details and you a few more details, and I'll do that while we colour? While we colour. Yes. I've got to go grab my markers. I'll be back in 1 second.
Oh my God.
So this is my prototype. Because in working with Ohuhu, who have done such a stunning job on these prototypes, I'm just so happy with these.
I can't believe how colourful the front covers have come
It's
out.
fantastic. I'm just really happy with that. So I got to pick my set of 48 markers, which I'm really excited. I've actually done this a couple of times now. I did my first ever set was 12 markers for the Jazzy art box. Then I did the Illustrator collection, which had 24 markers. The next obvious step is 48. Sorry, just
Going to keep doubling
just
it.
out of breath 'cause we've been I felt with those first two, I had to make decisions that were compromises to make the more minimal sets work.
Yeah.
This is the first set where I really feel like we've got everything that you actually need. So I'm just really happy with this because I do feel like with the other sets are sort of like, yeah, you can start with that, you can build your collection. This I can confidently say could be your collection. And I can stick by that because in the last year and a half, that's all I've used in my videos. So that's a really sort of fun thing to note because I think a really good example of it is the video where I did the Lord of the Rings characters from description.
Ah, okay.
I did 3 full pieces in that. I didn't touch any marker except for the markers in these. So
my God.
all the whole range, light to dark, all the different saturations, all of that, just these 48 markers because I really, and that was around the time I was like narrowing down my picks to make sure I picked the right one.
Yeah.
And every alcohol marker used illustration since that video, this has been my...
It's been tried and tested for
100%.
like a whole year.
Yeah,
That's
because
so
I want to launch this with like a full confidence that this is like, I can be like, this is the set. Get the set, it will cover you like professional quality, give you the range you need, like not just like leave you wanting for more. So I'm really, really happy with that. This is obviously a laser cut box. This is not like what it will come as.
It's going to look a lot better than that, I promise.
It will. I won't show it in this because they're going to send me their prototype where they printed it on the box. So,
Okay.
so we'll save that for a future vlog. But we sent them the measurements of this so that they could make it based on our design. So they're sending that to us with the 48 markers that I picked. So feel free to grab a couple of markers and have a little...
I have to pick a page.
Just pick like one little part. We'll color in one part.
Something simple.
Yeah, I'll grab my flesh tones and do Laura's. This isn't Lara Croft. This is Laura
Craft.
She's crafty.
Yeah.
Crafty Laura.
Very crafty.
So like, yeah, there's like a set of like
I'm gonna do this
skin
one.
tones ranging down to dark. Yeah.
This is a
Just
cute
pick like
little
one
mouse on a
section
beetle.
and we'll be able to flip it around. Now, Alicia,
Yes.
how much alcohol marker colouring have you done?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
I feel like that might be
I used
changing
to
soon.
do. Absolutely. I've got a 10-year-old cousin who I definitely want to show him this because he would love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't since high school really. I definitely had some, but I just didn't really know. Like, I didn't have any cool colouring books to use them with.
Yeah. Now, little pro tip is I usually like to swatch. I reckon you could probably just swatch on the other
The
the corner of the other page. Like, bleed through is not bad. Although I guess that would show on the front. So I tend to always have just a folded up A4 piece of paper off to the side.
Yeah.
Because it's always good to see the colour before you commit to it. You're more a digital girl than a
Yeah,
traditional girl.
I would dabble, like in primary school and high school. They were sort of my thing of choice because I didn't like pencils because it was just all grainy.
Yeah.
And then paints were messy and markers you could just sort of take anywhere. So I've got a lot of like childhood drawings with markers at home, but they never really made it past high school. I kind of just like got stuck into digital at that stage and yeah, kind of lost my passion for it. But
Well, we'll bring that back.
I'm definitely getting one of these for myself.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can give you one, Alicia, considering you've put so much work into making it.
Oh, it's just so satisfying.
Isn't that like wild to be interacting with a thing that we've been like tucking away at in the background for so long?
Yeah.
And now it's like almost something we can share and it already feels so cool.
It's gone like full circuit where I was excited to finish it and then I kind of forgot that it was
Yeah.
even happening
Yeah.
and now I'm excited to have it finished again.
Yeah. In the Kickstarter, when we launch, the idea is going to be, if you're interested in one of the books, you should be able to back it and get one. So if you someone who prefers landscape or portrait, you can get one. I love that they're divided because I personally, it's just a little irk when you have to rotate the thing and then you're
Yeah.
flicking through and you know, when it goes back and forth. So I really
Yeah.
like that the orientation is, you know, static. Obviously you can get both in a little bundle, and then there'll be a third option, which will be the full bundle, which will be both books and the 48 marker pack. That will also be the tier at which you can access stretch goals.
Okay.
So I haven't decided exactly what those stretch goals will be yet, but I can say that I definitely want one of the stretch goals to be a masterclass, like I did with the character design masterclass, how to color with alcohol markers. But I will teach the class with my markers and with these pieces as like examples.
Right.
So anyone who sort of backs the Kickstarter at that level, if we can unlock that stretch goal, will get the masterclass for free, and that'll be an added bonus of like, I'll sell it for like, what is it, $30 I think the other ones are, so that will just get thrown in.
And they can
just
literally follow along with the exact same
Exactly,
art
yeah.
that you're doing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I'll be able to sort of demonstrate like how I chose these colors, because they're real specific reasons. Because I know if I want like a desaturated, earthy brown gray, that isn't here, but it's very gettable with 2 markers, sometimes 3, but like the whole range is really achievable with minimal steps. So there'll be sort of like parts of it that demonstrate how to follow those steps, but also how to sort of figure out for yourself, if you want to achieve a certain color, how to sort of mix and get that.
Yeah. We'll be going over like different like techniques as well, like blending and like
Yeah, for sure.
cross hatching or
Well,
stippling or
Absolutely,
don't know
and
what
there's
they are,
certain
but-
like you can get like cool like texture effects with
Yeah.
alcohol markers. Like you can use.
bleaching.
That's why I've included the 0.
yeah.
Look, there are a lot of 48 packs out there. Anyone who's ever looked into getting alcohol markers of any brand will inevitably go through that umming and ahhing of like, oh, which one do I get? And you find yourself drawn to the bigger packs, but they're obviously more expensive.
Yeah.
And I tend to find outside of the mega packs of like, whether it's like a few hundred or, you know, whatever, that they tend to be grouped in strange sort of, what to me feel like pretty arbitrary groupings, like a pastel group or a this or that group.
Yeah.
Whereas like I rarely feel like, except for the big packs that are more expensive, that you get to cover all your bases from an illustrative perspective.
Yeah.
So this was intended to allow for that. So yeah, I want to definitely cover things like textures, and that's why I included the 0 marker, because look, if you go over the lines, you can use that to sort of push back and clean up your artwork a little bit. You can use it to get speckled effects. You can use it to sap saturation, which I find one of the most useful methods for it. So like if I do, let's do, I'll do this demo here. If I go like a really strong blue in her eyes, this is a really bold blue, right? So if I go like that, that's really harsh, right?
Yeah.
So like if I wanted like a dark blue, but like that's my only dark blue except for this, which is like a blue-gray, which I probably would have used, but for the sake of demonstrating. Once I put that down, if I just smother this, look at that, it's like a magic trick. It's like those magic markers. It just fades away,
it's
right?
so cool.
And it actually creates this glow. I know you can't see this, but you'll see it in the thing, right? And look at that, even just that, because it sort of pulls in the middle, you get this natural gradient that just sort of occurs.
Yeah.
You can avoid that if you go really even, but you also naturally can just sort of go towards the center and you get an effect. So like there's lots of little things like that that show like, they're just such cool tricks. They're such cool markers. They're really effective. And they're really helpful from the artistic journey perspective of like learning color theory and like, you know, developing instincts that help you throughout all sorts of mediums. So yeah, anyway, this is that. This is the video talking about how that's going to be a thing soon, hopefully.
I'm so excited.
I know, me too. It's sort of trippy. It's like you really do sort of move on to thinking about other things, and it, you know, we'll get little reminders now and then, or we'll be like, oh, you know, yeah, we need to send the update to this or that cover art, or re-export the format or whatever it is. But then all of a sudden you've like got this in front of you and you're sinking your teeth into it.
These markers are just so like buttery as well. Like I'm getting it so smooth, and that's with like one pass.
Yeah, it's satisfying. It's very satisfying. I'm really happy with the paper too. So that's another one of those things where like one of the reasons we need to sample this is I'm going to be going back to Ohuhu, who are potentially working with us on this. They've put these together. They're amazing quality so far. And one of the things is like, okay, well, is the paper right? Does it suit the markers? Does it feel professional quality enough?
I think so.
What's the bleed through like? So I'm doing this. I haven't got a safety net. And
I didn't.
yeah, I know. Neither of us do.
No.
So
Hold on.
so far, so good. I can see there's like this tiny bit.
Oh, I was trying to flip the page in half,
It's
but
just
it's just
that
so
thick.
thick
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
So there's the tiniest bit of blue bleed through there.
Okay.
But that's only because I smothered the eyes deeply and then went in with alcohol and went again while it was wet. So like it took quite a lot in concentrated area for that to go through at all.
And that's
it's
like
also,
the darkest
It's also
colour.
minimal enough that I can literally go over that with a white marker. It will disappear.
Yeah.
So bleed through, I'm not really concerned, but also...
I got nothing on mine.
Well, there you go. Like I would hesitate to say bleed proof, just because I am heavy-handed and nothing is bleed proof against me. But if you know what I mean. But I am very confident that this is like one of the best bleed-resistant colouring books I've ever seen or used, and that with a piece of printer paper behind it, you'll be 100% fine.
Yeah.
So, and they're blending really nice, but the surface of the paper is smooth enough that the blending is nice, but also has enough texture that this would take really well to pencil, which is really nice. So if you've got a collection of pencils or if you've gotten any of my other illustration kits or anything like that, this is better for a mixed medium than blending card, which is super, super smooth. It does blend a little more organically with alcohol markers, but also is really hard to take any other medium.
Yeah.
So these are like a really good middle ground that I'm feeling so far.
Feels so professional.
So this is where, okay, so I've done like a basic like skin and hair. And after I do like a basic coverage, that's when I like to play with the tints. So that's why I've included like a really light yellow, there's a really light green, really light blue.
Yeah.
So that, let's say I'll do like a two-tone tint, right? So I'll go yellow backlight. So I'll go like, actually no, I'll do it the other way around. Yellow front light, giving a bit of a golden hue in the direction that the light's coming from. And you literally just go over it in this subtle wash in the direction of that light, and then I can get that blue and give it sort of like a colder underlight.
I see.
And then it's quite strong, right? But then I can go back to my base skin pink, which is a really nice light pink, and while it's wet, work that in there, and it will soften it and mix it in with everything I've gotten in there so far. So this is a really rough example. But the great thing is, because it's alcohol markers, you can just sort of massage at it and it will continue to sort of push back until you get that more subtle effect. Do you know what? This is, even just going through this process is fun for me because I don't get to talk about how to do stuff a lot.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube isn't very tutorial friendly, but it does make me think like, oh, I'd have a lot of fun doing a masterclass, like, because it's fun to show this cool stuff to people who don't know how to do it.
Well, I didn't know how to do it until I met Kat.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could like bleach things and you meant to actually layer it, and like I didn't even know you could use like the clear one to like add textures and stuff. So it's definitely not known enough.
Yeah. So just like that, a couple of coats with that very light blue, the very light yellow, and then going back and blending in with that base skin tone. And look how different that is. Like, totally transformed what was a flat piece, like really effortlessly into like an interesting lighting environment. And then you can just layer up from there. Look how quickly we're doing this, but look how
I'm having too much fun.
polished
Sorry, I'm not
and clean the outcomes are, right?
I love it.
That's so cool.
These are mine.
Yay! That's so cool. And it's nice too, from a more sentimental standpoint, that while insert art has sort of been shelved.
RIP, yes.
RIP. You know, it was sad for all of us. Like, no one wanted to see it go. And we really felt like we were just sort of finding our feet. But it was just the reality of just sort of making a new YouTube channel work when, you know, I also want to pay people fairly. But also there's a part of a legacy there, you know, like there's a year of work that people have contributed that is sort of sprinkled throughout this.
It lives on.
Yeah.
It lives on.
Let me find another. Right. They're sort of scattered throughout. There you go. That's your tabletop time one. There's Morgan from Insert Art. There you go. That one's you.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it from people who have been watching my channel for a long time. There's recent ones, but then you'll have seen some really historical ones from like the very original character design sessions. There's some pretty classic ones strewn throughout. I think I've blabbed enough, but also I am happy to get back to Ohuhu and say I love the quality of this.
I have no notes. No notes at all.
This is great. If I got this in the mail tomorrow and that's what I purchased, I'd be really, really happy with that. Look at that. The colours look so good on it too.
So good.
I'm really happy with that. And I spent like 2 minutes on it. Anyway, all right. That is this excitable preview. For those of you who have been asking, now we can finally share the update. So please go check out the link in the description. Follow the Kickstarter. Stay tuned. Spread the word, share it with people you think will be excited about it, because it really matters that when we launch, anyone who would get it is ready to go, like jump into it with us from the launch. It makes all the difference. So hitting that follow button really matters.
Will it be in time for Christmas, or is that
It won't be in time for Christmas. It will be launched early next year. Go check out the link in the description, follow the Kickstarter, and I will update you soon, because as soon as these come, I think we might be able to continue working on our colouring pages.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.